I feel like I'm mature enough to have this conversation today. So, without a doubt, I'm gonna have it. Okay, it's about dreaming very big. It's. I mean, I think it's probably the best conversation you could have at 3 o'clock in the morning.
You think so?
I do. I feel that.
It's the best time to dream.
Yeah,
While
it
you're awake.
is. You're creating. Like at 3 o'clock in the morning, my creative juices are flowing.
Same.
Like I'm getting fresh ideas, fresh manner. I feel like God is just like pouring.
Fresh manna from heaven.
Do it again.
Fresh manna from heaven.
Don't say it like that, cause then it'd be like, okay, really? Is he pouring fresh manna? Like you make it sound like it's lemonade. Let me get a big, larger cup of that fresh manna that you be
Hold the
pouring out,
pulp.
Father. Hold the what?
The pulp.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's what God be doing for me though. Like I be getting fresh manna at this time of morning. Like God be just giving me all the necessities for a good life in one moment. That's how I feel. Now, how true it is, I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I told you I knew how true it was. But anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Breaking on Purpose podcast.
Going down.
This will be considered episode 16, and this is a continuation. I wanted to do the Mad at God, but because we did that earlier, like with the whole message, I was like, ain't no point in doing that again. But then I started thinking about something that we really have in common, which is being dreamers. Always dreaming, always thinking big. I don't know how you had it, but you can do it like that. Always thinking big or beyond the moment. And so I felt like this was probably one of the, if I was going to have this conversation with anyone, you would definitely be the best person to have it with
Oh,
about dreaming big. Because, I mean, you're a
Thanks,
dreamer,
brother.
okay? You got 10 years of,
over.
over 10 years of entrepreneurship, doing it on your own. And I think sometimes, we talked about this the other night, we talked about why you was mad to God. So, but one of it was because of, not being what you thought you should be by the time you should be it. And so, and that just opened up a huge box for me. That kind of really took what God gave me, what I originally had to message, what message I really had, I had to change it because that just resonated so heavy with me. So, all right, being a dreamer. When did you know you was a dreamer?
I don't think it was necessarily when did I know I was a dreamer, but I always knew I was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's considered a dreamer, you know?
I was about to say that's a dreamer.
I guess I say like in middle school, maybe 8th grade is when I had like a little Polaroid camera. You know, you had to get them developed at Walgreens.
Oh yeah. No. Oh yeah. You're
Yeah.
giving away our age. I mean, like now you're making me sound old. Like I'm still young.
I mean,
So,
we still young, but we
I
caught
can't
that
relate.
era.
I can't relate. I
That's-
come from the smartphone era.
Oh, okay.
Definitely a smartphone kid. Hey, y'all, talk back to us in the comment sections if you're watching this. We want to shout you out. We want to have a conversation with you as well. I see my fam, Charmaine, made it. She's a boss.
Hey, girl.
She's of the boss persuasion, so definitely that's a good conversation right there for her. So one of the things I want to talk about today is having the faith to believe God that all these things that we dream about can actually come to pass. What's something you actually dreamed for that came to pass for you business-wise?
That's a really good question. I feel like I should have got a list of questions before we started.
I know, right? I know. I'm known to ask good questions.
I know, and I'm known to not have an answer. And I'm not like your other host, baby. I just don't know. What came to pass? I guess I could say, actually doing it on my own, not on my own, but obviously with God, but doing it on my own, like actually
Being independent.
effectively being self-employed and making it happen, paying bills off of my income from that and not from an employer.
I think that takes a lot of faith to get into a space in your life where you're actually living a life where you are financially responsible for yourself based on, because ideally you should be working a 9 to 5 if you're going to make this thing happen. Now, what do you say to a person that says, I shouldn't, should I or shouldn't I take risk and go after my dream?
Just do it. I don't know. I don't know. People, anytime I've ever gotten a job over the course of me living, they would say, "Okay, Foster or Christian, whatever they call me." They would almost all of them would say, "I knew you weren't gonna have that job that long."
Why?
Because it's like that's just not me. And I mean, that's not to say that you watching at home. That's not to say you shouldn't have a job and still pursue your dreams. It's just for me. It's just I don't know. It's just something about working for somebody else is being so creative. It just really messes with my brain. Like, oh, I could be using this time to create, or I could be using this time to get my clients work
That sounds
done.
good. It just wasn't the move.
It's
I
not
can relate. Well,
I
I've been
know
like,
you can relate. We had this conversation earlier. You like you were
I
stressed
can
out, brother.
relate. Like I'm like I don't necessarily know like right now if I should go this or that route. Like
don't do it just yet.
I've been there, and I'm like I don't know. I'm not I'm a creative. I'm a person that of course I'm passionate about what it is that I do, and so I've always had that moment on the fence. But I will say this for those of us that say, listen, I'm just torn between a rock and a hard place on whether or not I should pursue my dreams further. This was my dream. I dreamed for years.
Podcast?
Radio, period.
okay.
Anything, any aspect of it. I dreamed for years. I remember being 16, Conga with this show called the JDJ Internet Radio Show. We were talking about internet radio shows before they ever existed. Well, not before. I mean, they existed in a small way.
I knew what you
before
were gonna
podcasting was really a major thing. This is 2006, and we're talking about the JDJ Internet Radio Show. Like I still have the paper folded up in my drawer because it was something that I wasn't like the type of person that wrote, like we talked about the other day, that would write
Right
something
now,
down and be
yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna manifest this. I don't know if this gonna happen or not. Like
Yeah.
I just believed in me enough to feel that it would happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now of course having produced more than 40 podcasts now later,
Mm-hmm.
and have put in tons of hours into production. Now I mean it's been a blessing. And owning a podcast studio, overlooking the city and have really walked in that dream. I'm just grateful that it actually came to pass. Like I even got to podcast with one of my best friends, Jay from the J Spot,
J-Spot.
and we grew up, or we early on in life. That's all we talked about was like.
And y'all made that thing happen.
I mean, and it's really a dope podcast. Like that's all we could ever think about was the day like we would ride in the car and act like we were on the radio.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I want to share tonight is be there before you get there. Okay? Be there before you get there. That means start walking in that life before you're actually living that life.
Correct.
Everybody wants to talk about, if we're going to go with this idea of what manifestation and manifesting. I know you got some people that walk with that mindset, but for me, it was bigger than that. I lived it before I lived it.
Correct. Same.
You too? Like,
Oh, that's me.
like I was speaking like I was on the radio before I was on the radio. Like I would ride in the car and listen to, at that time in Southeast Texas used to be Time Journal Morning Show. Yeah, every morning I'm like, I would listen. I'm like, what are they doing? What are they talking about?
Yeah.
And I would just live that life. I would put my mind and my heart in that environment. And so I really strongly feel that for every person that says, how do I move forward in a dream? Be there before you get there.
Let me go biblical.
Okay, go biblical.
A scripture I
Look
would
at you.
a scripture I would always reference or say is, "Call those things that be not as though they were."
Yes.
And life and
Amen.
death is in the power of the tongue. That's like a couple of my favorite scriptures.
That is-
so that's two that as an entrepreneur, I feel like everybody should live by those two.
Right. I feel like I agree. If you're in a boss position, you should definitely live by those two understandings. Call those things that be not as though they were. So
You
can
don't see it.
Okay. When did you feel like, what was your way of calling those things that were not existing as though they were existing?
So I used to, back when I stayed in Beaumont, I would paint shirts. So I would literally, like, that was my hustle. Like, I would hand paint shirts, whatever you want, I would make it come to life on a t-shirt, right? And so when I ran track, every single track meet, me and my best friend, we would have matching shirts. And on one particular shirt, I said, "Call me Tyler Perry daughter," because something. They used to some people call me Fausto the director. Like, because I would always walk around with a camera, like I'm either taking pictures or I'm filming you. So
Let's give
that
it for
was
Fausto the director.
Oh my god.
Fausto the director is in the house. That's funny.
That's one of those things that I always knew. Okay, I'm gonna be I thought I was gonna be a big time filmmaker. But when I got older, God started shifting my mind in a different way. Like, okay, you're gonna be like a director, but it's not gonna be in the way that you want to do. So he started shifting it, and it really hurt my feelings. And they could kind of go back to the conversation from last night about being mad at God, but I kind of let it go. Like, all right, I'm not gonna be making films that hit the big screens, but I'm gonna be directing in a different way.
Well, I got to say this because
Go ahead.
one of the cool things Lady Usher and I, when we were talking, she was like, you got to stop cutting yourself short.
Correct.
Like, you have to, and I mean, she was like adamant, like, son, listen, you cannot continue to cut yourself short. You have to put yourself on the front burner. And I got to say, it's never too late.
It's not.
I draw inspiration from the lady, I can't think of her name, who ended up being in Tyler Perry's, not Tyler Perry's, in Black Panther. And she was like 80-something or 70-something years old, and she got the role in Black Panther. After all those years of just trying to get there, she got there.
Correct.
And so I think there's God's appointed time is always, his timing is different than ours.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's like, even if, okay, I'm glad you went there, because sometimes people feel like, yo, ain't no sense in me dreaming because I haven't made it. I don't have enough money. There's people that are doing it better than me. And even sometimes in my situation, I'm like, what give you the right to encourage somebody? You ain't made it. Like, you ain't done.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then I'm learning. If you look at where you are, there are still some people sitting on the couch trying to figure it out.
They ain't even made the first step.
They have not even taken step one. And it's nothing against them. It's just the reality that there are people who have not. This is not easy. I think sometimes we take it for granted. Just because it has become easy for you or doable for you does not mean that it is. If it was doable for everybody, everyone would be doing it. So that's why it's hard to understand for even me how for years I slept on my ability and on my gift and talent that God gave me, right? Because, and if truth be told, everybody cannot do what God has gifted you to do. It's not everybody's gift and everybody's ability. And most times we listen to the opinion of people who cannot do step one.
They don't know what. Ooh.
You're at step 10 listening to somebody who can't get past step 1.
Exactly.
You know, you ain't making enough money. Why are you doing this anyways? Because you don't understand passion, apparently.
Clearly.
So, what happens when what you do don't pay you enough to do it? Have you ever had that? like it ain't.
Brother, now you know.
I ain't getting enough coin out of this thing, man.
It's
like,
frustrating.
is it really?
It is very. That goes back to the 9 to 5 thing. It's like,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
that's why.
That's true.
Don't quit your 9 to 5. I'll say that. Don't quit
Say
your
it
9
loud.
to 5.
Say it loud. Somebody need to hear that.
Don't quit your 9 to 5. Get out your feelings and keep your job. No, for real, facts.
Okay, I'm gonna say different. If your 9 to 5 is cutting into your 5 to 9,
okay, we can play. You know, we can do devil's advocate. You know, we can. It's
if
50,
your 9 to 5 is cutting into your 5 to 9, quit it.
because you know how I feel.
No,
Quit
no.
that job. No. I'm trying to encourage the people. Don't just up and quit. That may not be your testimony.
Fogel the child. Okay. Listen, next time you say it, we're going to bleep you out. You can't be saying words like, you can't be on here saying that.
Well, if you don't quit, don't listen to me.
Why
y'all.
don't you just that job? No, you can't.
I don't think I like the way that one sounded. Elder D. Wow. In the words of Lady Tawanda Usher, wow.
That sounded extreme,
That
okay?
really
That really, yeah. Well, I'm glad I know I said quit, okay?
Yeah,
I'm glad
it's
I
good.
know. Sometimes you have to know what came out of your mouth. Okay, so the next, okay, so the first one we have it clear. Show up before you get there, or be there before you get there. That was the first one. Hold on tight would be my next one. Because I feel that life is designed. I feel that God orchestrates life in such a way that it will test your grip. Because if I can knock it out of your hand, then you were either not ready for it or you didn't want it for real anyways. I need to zoom in on your face because you're really giving like a lot of heart to this one. I mean, you give this one more heart.
World.
In a world, like, agree or disagree? Agree or disagree?
I don't disagree. It's crazy you said that because I was in prayer on my way back over here, and God was dropping in my spirit exactly what you just said. So that's why I'm just like in awe right now. Like,
Wow.
I'm just thinking like, okay.
Wow.
God, you think you funny, huh?
Oh, yeah, God always thinks he's funny.
Oh, he a whole
He's
comedian
comical.
out here.
He's
Yeah.
comical. But, all right, so do you agree? I mean, we're not having had such an experience with the Father. I'm just saying, I feel that sometimes we are tested by what we said we wanted to do. And especially if you say, God positioned me to do it. Okay, I'm going to test you to see, I'm going to check your grip. I'm going to put you in situations that can really either shake this out of your hand or make you want to throw it down. But I'm going to find out how bad do you want to be what you said you want to be.
That's true. I feel like, obviously, God know that we want it, but a lot of us get in our feelings or we allow emotions to take over in that moment. Oh, I'm not making enough money, or this client want a refund, or X, Y, and Z. You know.
The refunds get me.
Oh, Jesus, I don't even talk about that this episode. But, I don't know. That's just it's so many different layers just to that statement you made.
But here's the thing. When you are a dreamer and you operate and you have an assignment to walk into this space, you have to know that when you arrive, you have to arrive with it.
Correct.
Because you cannot show up to a job that you're not ready to do. And
Let you go ahead and go. Go ahead, go home.
Right. You can't show up to a dream that you're not ready to execute. You can't, because the one understanding that we have to have is that it was your dream to begin with. It was your dream.
You can't show up to your dream with your pillows.
Oh, that's good. Oh. You know what? Let me get you. Oh, my bad.
Whoa.
That was a good one. You know what? No, I'm not going to do it for you.
I was ready.
There you go. That was good. You cannot show up to your dreams with a pillow. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Don't sleep on.
The next one I want to give you guys is the difference between a goal and a dream. Because I think a lot of times we don't realize that your goal started with your dream. And a goal is the graduation of a dream. So I love the look on your face. Let's catch it. You look so interested.
Because the things that you are saying has got me thinking.
All right. Well, here, I want to give this to y'all. So this is so important. I think we should know this. The difference between a goal and a dream. A lot of times, one of the things God gave me early on was you are treating this goal as though it's a dream. And the problem with that is that I gave you the dream while you were laying on the pillow. But I gave you the goal while you were on your feet. And the difference in a goal and a dream is the first step.
I feel like I'm supposed to be taking notes right now.
The difference in the goal and the dream is the first step, meaning that once you took the first step, it is now a goal. It's not a dream.
Okay, because you already didn't.
That's right.
It out, yeah.
Sometimes we don't shift from dream to goal. And so we never arrive to it.
The dreams don't become a reality.
That's right. So let me give you illustration to it. I think I want to go to Trill Burger, the new burger spot, right? I know it's somewhere over there, but I don't know where it is exactly. But by the time I put it in my map and tell my map where I want to go, it is now a destination. So the dream, it started as a thought. But once I enter in the destination and get the travel distance and all this other stuff, I now know that the goal is I have to get there.
Exactly.
So many times we keep it here to the point that we never get it here. So it's in your head, but it's not in your hand. And then what happens is when you have it in your hand, you start treating it like it's still in your head. So what messes us up is God said, you haven't even acknowledged that I've given this to you.
And that's not, I hope I'm not going off
No,
topic
you're
with
good.
this, but that goes to just doing something so simple as writing down that goal or that
Right.
dream or,
Right.
actually
Putting it on
writing
paper.
Putting it on paper. Write the vision,
Write
make
the vision.
it plain.
There you go.
Habakkuk.
Yeah, and listen, let me give you this. That's so funny you said that. When we write the vision and make it plain, God gave me something totally different. As you write it, live it like it's written. Live it
Walk it
simply.
out.
Stop complicating what I've given you. Live the simple structure of it and build on that. Don't complicate the simplicity of it. Write the vision, make it plain and simple. Walk in it.
Exactly.
That means start living like it's, if you're gonna go start a food truck business, start living like you already got the food truck. Cook in your kitchen like you cooking on the back of that food truck.
Serve this
Yeah,
up for
exactly. Next time if you're a videographer, start, using your phone, looking at it from the aspect of advancing yourself. If you have a product that you're selling, start wearing it. And you know what? If you sell a product and you don't wear your product, it's hard to sell it.
It's not believable.
Yeah, it's hard to
You don't
sell
believe
it.
in
You know,
yourself, yeah.
that's like me when I used to sell cars. I made a mistake one time. A lady was like, "Tell me something good about this car," and I was like, "Man, I can't even tell you nothing good about this car." But I couldn't. It was a Dodge. Dodges were trash to me, so I
Yeah,
was like, "I
Dodge,
can't
that
tell
Dodge.
you that this was. I can't tell you nothing good about this car." And she was like, "Oh my God, really? Not one thing?" And I'm
She
like,
really wanted
"No,
that. She
no."
probably was a Dodge Dart.
She was, and it was. I'm surprised. I was like, "This."
that was gonna be my first car.
This is nothing more than a Dodge Avenger dressed up. That's it. It's a Dodge Dart. And she was like, "But can't you tell me something about this big 13-inch screen?" I was like, "Ma'am, you know more than me. All I know is that's an old school TV sitting in the middle of a
She was
dashboard."
waiting on you to tell her something bad.
She was waiting on me to tell her something about this car, and I could not tell her anything good because I couldn't think of anything good. Did you think it stopped her from buying it?
No.
No. Why? Because Dodge had already told her things I couldn't tell her.
Sound effect.
You that was a good one.
I earned it,
So here's the gift though. What am I saying? They believed in the product. So that if they, just in case somebody who didn't, such as myself, came across their customer, there's nothing you can tell them to change their mind.
That's good.
You have to believe in what God has placed in your hand to sell, to distribute, to put out into the world. You have to trust this. Why am I going to buy from you and you don't market you?
Exactly.
Why am I going to buy from you and you don't put yourself on the front line and say, "Listen, my services are great. I take care of my customers. Listen, let me earn your business." We don't like to say things like that anymore. I would like to earn your business. We don't do that anymore. Listen, I want you to bring me your business. That's the way we operate these days. Bring it to me. We assume that I can just post this stuff on social media and it pops. And it ain't. Because naturally, true to life, you get what you put in.
Yeah.
If you post it, all you're going to get is a reply. But if you chase it, that you get an opportunity. You don't get opportunities you don't chase.
That's good. And that's like the conversation we had the other day. I'm stuttering. That was my frustration because I had such a huge following or support in Beaumont. It was like, okay, yeah, she does this, and that. The clientele was coming, but over the years, it was just like, okay, dang, like I really kind of stopped marketing myself. I got comfortable. So like now it's like, okay, I didn't fall off. I still get the tag, the recommendations, but I never land that client. So it just goes back to what you said. Like you gotta chase it. Like you gotta keep
This
promoting.
is good. I'm glad you're saying that. I need y'all to write this down. The people you know will not help you grow. Okay? Granted, a couple of them they'll help you get started, but they cannot help you grow.
Yeah.
And
They'll get you there.
I think sometimes we think the people that helped us get started are the people that's supposed to help us grow.
Yeah.
Since we only got enough money to help you get going. We got the money to let you know, pat you on the back, baby, the dream was good. But you're going to have to go build the clientele if you're trying to grow.
Exactly.
That's good. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
For the person that thought that I was
Club
going to say.
breakthrough.
Yeah. I know somebody thought I was going to be like, "Yeah, your family's supposed to help you grow." No, I'm not telling you that. No, listen, I cannot rely on the people that I know to help me grow.
Have you ever seen the post? Sorry to cut you off. You ever
No,
seen the
you're good.
post? It always floats around that your biggest supporters are people that you'll never meet.
That's right.
And that's
you,
true.
You don't know. There are people that are waiting on you who do not know your name today, but would never forget it tomorrow.
Correct.
If you get in front of them, I think what happens with most of us, and particularly the dreamers, we are waiting on people who have never lived in our head to understand what God said.
And most of those people not even dreamers themselves.
They're not.
They work for
not.
somebody else. No shade. They just
And-
work
and
for other
listen,
people. And they don't
definitely no
understand
shade
it.
and definitely no umbrellas to be given out either. There y'all go. The people you know will not help you grow. Their assignment is to help you get started. And I think sometimes we expect people who said, listen, this is good to get me started, but if I'm gonna grow, I have to go and reach the people who need what I have. They don't need you. They need what you have. They're not supporting you. They're supporting your business. It's a folk that be like, I don't like her attitude, but ooh, that stuff she sell is so good. Like
Forget what she got going on. I want the product.
that brand, that product is so good.
Yes.
And I think what happens for us as dreamers, because we ran out of family and friends, we think our business is done. We ran out of few people that we ran out of word of mouth, so it's like ain't nobody else talking. Well, maybe it's time for me to start talking for myself. Maybe I don't have anybody else to say how good my business is because God said, okay, they've been bragging on you. When you gonna brag on yourself?
Exactly.
That's so. That's good.
I have a quick just club
Okay, I'm-
breakthrough.
just like-
Christian club. Not a homeboy, but somebody I went to school with. DJ, he has his own clothing line, Square Biz. I'm actually rocking it right now.
Oh,
And
free promotion.
he posted a really good post about, 6 years I was doing this, long nights, sacrifice, different bills being paid, this and that. And he was like, I made my first 100,000 and, it's been up ever since. And I'm saying all that to say, though he had support from friends and family, but a lot of his supporters came from people across the United States buying his, all his clothing, like his shoes. He released a book, hoodies, t-shirts, pants. And, I think that was so key for me, like seeing him keep posting. And, he also said in the post, he lost friends along the way. So it's like, that's cool. Like, don't rely on your family and your friends to be your major support. Like, don't look at them to buy your stuff. Don't look at them to share or like your stuff. Like, that's not your target audience. Look to the people outside of that. Broaden your what should I say? Your clients, your customers. People
Right.
that you are looking for that support from.
Right. I agree that my greatest support did not come from people I knew.
But you know what? That's so crazy because like that's so different from me. Like my biggest support comes from like my mom. She has her own she's a massage therapist. And to this day, like, she still will pay me to make a flyer. And I'm like, Mom, you really don't have to do that. But she pays me, like, she supports my business.
But even that is not your greatest support.
That's not my greatest. It feel like it because
You
she
have
be
not
supporting
met your
me, baby.
greatest support because you don't know your greatest support until it shows.
I get
up.
what you're saying, though. Yeah.
Like my greatest support hasn't even shown up for me yet. My greatest support is somewhere sitting praying like I'm ready to write this check. I'm ready to cut this check for you.
I'm ready to deposit it.
Exactly. I'm ready to call you and be like, it's there. Like
It's
my
time.
exactly. So here's the thing. That's enough to keep me going, but that is not enough to get me, to really support me and get me to the next level. Because here's what you have to look at. I need $3,000-4,000 a month to thrive.
To leave.
Now, if you give me that, then if the people I know give me that, then I can say the people I know support,
support me.
they there for me. But the truth of the matter is that because I have to dream bigger than that. I have to be ready.
Expand.
I have to prepare my mind for the blank check. So I want to ask everybody that's actually that's up listening to this, hanging out with us. If you're watching this later, I need you to answer this question for me in the comment section somewhere, wherever you are, or ask yourself this: what would you do with a blank check?
Pay my bills. Well, no, look, I thought to her head because I didn't even listen to the question. I just heard check.
So you would pay your bills with a blank check?
I can't do that.
Just give me a check for $5,000 and give me 1 month worth of bill
Overdraft.
paid.
You going to jail. You writing hot checks.
So that's what you would do with your blank check.
No, with a blank check. So you what? Explain to me this
Okay,
blank check.
so let me tell you the story.
Because I jumped the gun.
So I was given a blank check 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I started Love Win. I walked into, at that time, Bishop's office, and he was like, "All right, I want to support what you got going on."
Why did I know this? Who he was talking about?
I walked in, and he said, "Here you go," and I'm like, "Oh, dope. What's that?" He's like, "All right,
Oh, I think I know
it's a
this
blank
story.
check," and I'm like, "Oh man, a blank check. This sounds really good." I'm like, this got to be a hoax. I've never seen a blank check in my life. And is this a really good check, or is this just like, I don't even, can I cash this for real? Like, come on. And he was like, yeah, right. Now, write only what you want. And I said, man, go ahead. You write it out. You tell me what you want me to have. And he was like, that's 100% how this will not go. You will write this check out, and you will tell me what you need from me. Okay? He said, I'll help you out with this. I'm thinking it in threes. I said, okay, threes. Okay, 300. And he said, oh, I was thinking way bigger than that. But, okay, 300. Go ahead and go right. I said, no. Let's do 1,000. Let's do 1,200. And he was like, no.
It's too late.
We're going to do 300 because that's all you have the capacity to carry.
Ooh.
That's all you have within you right now.
Okay, so do you feel like you were too humble or too proud?
I thought too small.
Oh, you thought too small.
I didn't think enough of the assignment and my dream to execute at a high level. He said you should put a person in a position to say, I can't do that much, but I give you the most I can give you. And that was like, man, so which brings me to my next point. Ask for it.
Okay.
Not just God. The Bible says, asking ye shall receive, okay?
Yeah.
All right, that's what we say.
Yeah.
Asking you shall receive. But the reality is, are you really asking for what it is that you deserve, desire, and require? Or are you asking for the minimum? And here's the problem with that. When you're asking for the minimum, the Bible says that the Lord would give you, look it up for me real quick, exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think. So when you understand that God will give you above what you could ask or think, you might need to ask for the max that you can imagine because you know he's still going to pass it up.
Yeah.
But I learned that God has a requirement. If you're asking me for the minimum, even what I give you would still be within your thought process.
Exactly.
I need to know your max expectation so I can give you above all you could ask or think. But if you start at the minimum, I'm not responding.
Yeah.
So
you don't have the faith. You don't have your mind ain't there.
Somebody just know it. I've been asking for a little when God has promised me a lot. And the problem is he's not responding because I'm still asking for too little. I don't want to be greedy. God said, by whose standard? By the people you hanging with? And that's only greedy to them because they can't afford it. Because if you was hanging with the millionaires and the billionaires, they would say, oh, that's all you want?
Nothing, John.
Exactly. So we have to know, you have to know that asking for it is the greatest first step ever.
Okay, well, since we on the topic of asking, Lord, can you please bless me with 10,000 each month? Thank you, amen.
And for
That's
me,
my
God,
minimum.
hey, God, for me, I want to sow 10,000 a month.
That's
So
good,
Lord,
yeah.
set us up to be able to give 10,000
I want
a
to
month.
give.
That is
Yes,
the
I'm
that
such
is
a
the goal.
giver. We're givers.
Yeah, we are. We definitely are that. You know what? Shout out to the givers.
You know, I used to bribe God in a sense, like
Oh, no, I never done that.
not bribe, but because I'm such a giver, like I'm a tither and a sower and all that other good stuff, gifts and talents as well as monetary. It's like I'm like, God, okay, you know I do X, Y, and Z. Okay, you know
You was rationing with God. I mean,
come
bargaining
on,
with God.
bargain, like, all right, you can, bless me in this area.
Say it
And
again. You can do me a little 20, 20, 20.
A little 20. You know what I'm saying? No, but for real, I even with I think I played the lottery one time. I think it was like 2014 when it hit like $1 billion. I was like, Lord, you got me. I'm a real tie pay. I'm ready to sow into greater grace. That's why I think I had just moved to Houston. I was like, I can sow this money if you just let me win this lottery. I woke up the next day.
And you
I did
believed
not-
it?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believed I was gonna win the lottery that night. I don't like that because it feel like we went to hell for a little bit. I really don't like that.
Nah, okay.
That's how I feel.
Okay, let's get back on topic. But no, that was just a little transparent moment. Like,
Nah, you know what? Truth be told, I never played the lottery. I never played the lottery.
I think I played maybe 2-3
I am
times.
too saved. I'm too sanctified. I'm too filled with the Holy Ghost to ever put
I ain't
myself
gonna
in
even.
that.
I'm gonna let you have
I am
it,
too
brother.
anointed for that. Let me tell y'all this. All you people that's playing the lottery,
Don't listen to nothing he about to
I'm
say.
going to pray for you right now because I know you are in the space of confusion.
Oh my God.
You are playing the lottery, and let me zoom. Can I zoom in? I don't know if I have zoom ability here, cause I want you guys
Not
to
on yourself.
yeah, I can't see it. I'm not zoomable right.
Good. Don't zoom.
I'm just gonna look dead at you.
Look alive.
Let me talk to you. I don't do lotteries, and if you're doing lottery, I'm telling you, just call me if you win.
I got that blank check ready.
Matter of fact, yeah, there you go. Send me a blank check. That's all I'm saying. Listen, I'm not on the judgment train. I'm not here to judge.
Nah, do
Get
what
it how
you
you live.
Yeah.
Okay. Get it out the mud. But all jokes aside, I used to play the lottery too. Every
So
Friday.
you just a liar now at this point because you just told these folks.
Hold on. I'm just a what?
Nothing
What
better
you say? I'm
go
just
on.
I know you did not come on here cussing at me. She didn't sit, y'all.
You know that was a cuss word
I
back in
can-
the 90s.
I
Oh, you
can-
could not call your parent a liar.
What? I cannot wait for people to hear this episode and hear all this stuff you said. You called me you called me and then you turn around and I can't believe you've been saying all that. I'm about to say the Lamitical gall. Is that a word?
I don't even know what that
The
is.
gall of you. I don't have to deal with it. I mean,
Let me stop. For your breakthroughs, come to my comments. You see number liars on each post.
oh, they gonna
Liar,
break
liar.
my brain. I'm gonna
Like the
send my
bees or the
family.
beehive. Liar,
I'm
liar,
gonna
liar,
send my
liar.
family to rebuke you. No, listen.
Nah.
I didn't do lottery to win the lottery. I did lottery to win.
Oh my God, I thought it was about to be something real deep and spiritual. I was ready.
I don't know what you thought. I mean, I'm talking about the lottery. Wasn't nothing deep and spiritual about it. I was broke. I needed a way out. It was $1. I went and got it, and I needed these people to give me some coins if I won.
Oh my God.
Okay, let me tell you this time I almost won the lottery. I missed it.
Dog.
I sit up here and was watching, and all the right numbers came.
Okay.
And it got down to the last two numbers. And I am sweating bullets because this is the closest I think I've ever come to winning.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there looking, and it said 05, and mine was 08. And then the last number was 0, like it's 6 or something, which was mine was 6. The whole time I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing an 8. I am seeing an 8. I'm seeing an 8. I'm seeing an 8. Y'all, I'm almost in tears. My heart is full of joy because I can't believe that I didn't sit here and won the lottery. It felt so good. And lo and behold, sometimes there are people in your life that will come and they will change the numbers on you. Ooh. Well, my cousin came and was like, that is a whole 5. That is not an 8. That is a 5. You need to get some glasses.
Well, you know.
I don't care what I
You
know.
really have a.
I don't care what I know. I know me. I know me like I know me. But still, that thing looked like an 8.
Looked it.
It did. But I tell you what, the biggest lesson in that was that it's the same with us in life. Sometimes things look one way and they are truly a whole nother situation. But don't ever let it stop you from playing the game.
Don't let that stop you from not dreaming big.
That's right, because I went back to the store the next day and I got me 2 more lottery tickets. Yes, I did. But I've since been delivered. I don't do lottery no more because after a year playing it, I didn't win nothing, so it wasn't meant for me.
Oh, okay.
But if I won it, if I won it, I'm still saved. I still love God.
Still.
I'm still a child of God.
Love you.
All day, every day. Okay, do me a favor. Every dreamer that's watching this,
They putting lottery numbers in the comments.
I hope not. I hope
They
not.
winning tickets on the back of that fortune cookie.
Do you ever believe in them? I never believed in the fortune cookie.
I used it as like a little motivation.
I could not be motivated by a stale fortune cookie.
I love me a good fortune cookie.
If you don't have to crunch, the fortune is just as soggy.
Okay.
That's how I believe. If it's like doughy, that you know that fortune is soggy. It's been there too long.
I like a good crunchy.
I love JJ's Bistro in Beaumont, and that's my favorite place to go. They just have the soggiest fortune cookies ever. But for somebody,
What street is that on?
It's on Calder, I think. Whatever street the mall is on. College. I don't know. What street is the mall
Phelan?
on? I don't know. If you go straight down from the mall, it's right in the shopping center with Kroger's and everything else. It's right there. It's on the corner, across from the post office, right before you get to HEB.
Okay.
I go there every time I go to Beaumont. Every time I go to JJ's.
I'm gonna go. tomorrow.
they have the largest meatball, whatever that setup is. It's like it's very good. It's so General
I
Joe's
don't
chicken.
Eat beef and pork no more.
What?
You
I know.
It's so sad.
All right, everybody, that concludes our podcast episode on Dreaming Big. Listen, leave us a comment in the chat below letting us know how you're dreaming big and what your plans are, what big dream you actually have and plan to execute, and how will you be there before you get there. Leave that, share that information. I'd love to read that during one of our podcast episodes. Listen, Coach C, thank you so much for hanging out with us. What's that song you played the other day? I don't know what you putting on
What
right
up,
now.
RG?
What's that song called? It made me feeling good. I was like, the one about something you're going to make it. I don't remember what the song was
God
about.
made a way.
That's what it is. It was a really good song. You sent it to me earlier. I felt really... Hey, y'all, this is a really cool song. I'm going to let y'all hear some of this, It's really hip-hop and all that good stuff. All right, y'all. Listen, I appreciate everybody for listening to this episode. I hope that you really enjoyed these nuggets, enjoyed this conversation. How you know they did?
Call those things that be not until they were. We love y'all. See y'all next time.
Wait, y'all. My bad. I forgot to tell you. Oh. I forgot to tell y'all. Am I on your camera? Am I on your camera? Good. I'm good. Hey, y'all, let me tell y'all. I forgot to say this. In this next season, you will break, but you will not break down. You will break through. That's all I want to tell y'all. Get out of the back of my head.